accused of murdering your father, I wanted to confront them and ask them why they did it. And I wondered if you wanted to do the same.
Well, I haven't gotten to that stage yet. You know, it's been a very tough time for me to deal with it, and I don't really have any feelings against them yet. You know, I guess because it hadn't really sunk in yet, but it's a lot of sadness out there with people who do these things for whatever reasons that they choose to do that, but I just really hadn't quite understood the reasoning for that. And I know
you say it hasn't sunk in yet?
No.
No?
I still think about it a lot.
Would you want to ever say to them why?
No, because I don't want to know.
You don't?
No. Because it probably would hurt me even more just to know their reasons, because if it is, it's going to be totally meaningless to the reason, and it's better that I don't know. You know.
How are you handling the grieving process? I know I've done many shows where people say time heals. It hasn't been a long time. And one of the things you say in Rare Air, I was moved when I read it, you say you always would look to see if your family was in the stands, your wife, and if Juanita wasn't in the stands, she'd hear from you at the end of the game. True. And that you'd look to see if your mom and dad were there. So I was thinking that being able to go back on the court, did that have anything to do with your decision or how you would feel having to go back on the court and look at the stands and know your dad wasn't there?
No, because my father and I talked about it. I mean, he actually wanted me to quit after the first championship, but I had a lot of things to accomplish, and no, that didn't have too much to play, but it was a major concern to make sure that they were there as I played, because that comfort, you know, knowing that he's there or my mother's there, my family's there, that support, something I really needed it, and to know that, you know, he saw my last game.
Yeah.
So that's the greatest gratification that I can have.
But Michael, you know what's interesting to me? I've heard you talk about it, not a lot, but even in the book where you say my father who passed, and I always think, I mean, I know he had to pass, but I think he was murdered. And the fact that he was murdered is a searing kind of pain. I mean, have you dealt with that? Have you accepted the fact he was murdered?
No, because I'm a very optimistic person to a sense that I don't look at the real bad part of it. I look at no matter what happened to my father, he's not here.
Yeah.
So he's passed to me. I want to look at it in a good sense, because I think that's the part to help me get over that situation.
Was it harder because the body had already been cremated?
No, I mean, because I've really never, I just had a bad notion never to go to funerals, and I never wanted to see the body after it was either, you know.
After spirits left the body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so I just, either way, I would have wanted to remember my father the way that I saw him. And
were you mad at the coroner, though?
Yeah, I was upset that it happened, and it showed less. It really didn't show too many feelings, because it wasn't like he was a homeless person.
Right.
I mean, he had expensive dental work.
Yeah, he said he could tell.
He had a lot of reasons to think that this guy was not just a homeless person, and I just felt that they should have did a better research to.
Did you go through that thing where you all, the family, blamed themselves for not filing a missing persons report sooner?
No, we knew our father better than anyone else knew him, and we knew that at certain times he chooses to do things, you know, very independently. That's how he was.
Just go off.
Yeah, that's how he was. He loved to get his time for himself. And, you know, once, a while, when, you know, I used to call him like every 3 or 4 days, and my mother would say, well, he's down working at the plant, or he's doing other things. I always took that, you know, he's taking that time that he needs for himself.
But he had disappeared, and you hadn't talked to him for a while. Had you started to worry?
No, because I had the reassurance from my mother that he basically was just taking time for himself. And I really, truly understood that. I mean, that was a relationship that she knew better than I. And I just, you know, once the car was reported, that was when I think the alarm actually came up that something's wrong.
Something's off.
I mean, it was a pretty new car, and he loved it, and he drove it all the time, and he would never just totally...
What did you think when you first heard that?
Well, I'm an optimistic person. I thought something, you know, either someone stole his car or something to that nature. I thought positively. I didn't think negatively at all.
How did you get through it?
Because I knew that I had to be the supporting cast for the supporting person for the family, and the family had to deal with it, and I felt that I was the strongest person to deal with it for them and stay strong for them and make sure things were taken care of so that they could deal with it in their own manners.
Do you feel that you have dealt with it, or do you feel that you've kind of put it aside for now?
I just feel that I put it aside, and gradually it's just going to work its way out of me, which is the way I want it to be, actually. I don't want it to hit me all at once and, you know, I collapse and I'm down for 2 or 3 weeks, you know, because I still got to live on, and I make sure that people around me live on. So
Have you shed enough tears yet, do you think?
No,
Or are you
never.
trying to repress the tears?
yeah, I let them go whenever I need to.
Okay.
I don't repress it.
Michael's dad was always his biggest fan. Here's his dad talking about his famous son. I wanted to ask you this, too. I often wonder this, when loved ones have passed on, is it hard to see the videotape of them, or does it make it better when you can see them in a life
You
stage?
see him in a different light, you know? I look more like him.
Yeah.
So it's good for me to see him.
Okay.
I'm happy.
Okay, we're going to go.
When he comes home, I talk to him just like he's one of my boys. And I can't get in my mind that he's any different. But when I walk into the stadium and 18,000 people are standing there hollering and screaming, sometimes you want to cry, you break out with goosebumps, and you just get all of these eerie feelings. And naturally, you have to be very, very proud.
The day you announced, I felt your father was with you.
He was.
Yeah.
He was there because he knew what I was doing.
Yeah. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Just because I want fresh smelling laundry day after day doesn't mean I spend my life doing laundry. I've changed to new Outdoor Fresh Bounce. Now things smell fresh for up to 5 days.
Only New Bounce has a special time-release freshness that slowly releases day after day after day.
This is fresh.
I just washed it 5 days ago.
Change to new Outdoor Fresh Bounce. The freshness lasts up to 5 days.
Simpson, do I smell waffle?
Delicious waffles, Jenkins.
I guess some of us care about our bodies and some don't.
Jenkins, I'm hurt. These are Eggo Nutri-Grain waffles made with nutritious whole grain.
Nutritious? You?
Absolutely. And no cholesterol, no sugar added, no preservatives.
I'm impressed. Do they taste as good as they smell?
There's only one way to find out.
If you insist.
Hey, let go my Eggo.
Taste the wholesome goodness of Nutri-Grain waffles from Eggo.
Henry, at Service Merchandise, you can shop the store and save, or you can shop the catalog and save. The proof, Henry, is in the pudding. I said pudding, didn't I? A better way to shop, a better way to save.
Find great values this Christmas on a wide selection of Garrard stereo equipment, including this 5-disc CD player. The quality is Garrard. The prices are pure service merchandise. Call for the store nearest you.
When it comes to Hatfield sausage, there are just 3 things to remember. There's links, there's patties, there's rope, and there's kielbasa. Well, actually, that's 4 things to remember. Oh, and there's Italian sausage. And that's either hot or sweet, and you can serve Hatfield sausage at breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So actually, there's only one thing to remember about Hatfield sausage. It tastes great.
Families trust Hatfield.
Wow, take a look at what's new on WBRE TV this Saturday.
There's a whole wide world for us to see. There's a lot to learn for you and me. So open your eyes, take a look around. Just ask who, what, where, why, and how. Oh, wow.
It's new, it's now, it's wow this Saturday at noon here on WBRE TV.
Michael, I just want to congratulate you on retiring at the height of your career. I wish I'd have done that.
From someone who loves dancing, I must say, I always thought Baryshnikov could jump the highest, but I was wrong. Don't leave us!
Basketball without you is like grits without gravy, like Kool-Aid without sugar, like wrestling without Hulk Hogan. But we wish you well, whatever you do. And remember, we love you.
Michael will not be able to stay retired past a year. And the reason is that a home cannot stand two grown young people 10 hours a day. He'll begin to get on her nerves.
Oh, gosh. Mr. Bill. So, how has it been being at home? How has it been being at home all day? We need to ask Juanita that. All day long, all the time. How's that been?
Well, I haven't been home all day, all the time.
But you're there more. You're home more. You're not out practicing and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really good. I mean, especially with the kids. I mean, in the past years when the kids, Jeffrey and Marcus, start to walk, I'm never around. And this time I see Jasmine walk, take steps. So,
really?
You know, this is the first time I actually seen them go through that stage.
Have you noticed a difference with girls, boys? I know you noticed a difference, but, like, has it been different raising a little girl?
You know, it hadn't. Well, a little bit, because she doesn't really get up at night. You know, she sleeps through the night. She's really, really a good baby. She's really been quiet.
Has it been good having him home? Good? You ready for him to get out? No, not yet, Juanita. Okay. You say this about your marriage to Juanita in the book. You say she's 4 years older and was more mature. You say you had to come up to her level for it to work. It was hard at first because you didn't know who you were at the time.
True. I mean, I was very young when I met her. And I knew I liked her, but I just didn't understand certain things that it took to make a relationship. I was in my young stage of my life.
What does that really mean?
I was young.
Young. Yeah.
But she helped me learn more about myself and some of the things that was more valuable to a person, to other people, to a relationship, to make things work. And I mean, that's a part of the whole relationship. It's a working.
Let me ask you, this is fascinating, because, you know, when you're in the public eye all the time, that people have this whole complete image of you, like, you know, my godchildren have there's a life-size fold-out thing of you in their room, and images of you all over the wall, and people create this whole kind of idea of you, I think, when you're a famous person. And it's fascinating to me because, also being a public person, I always still feel like the same person, and sometimes it's hard for me to imagine what it is other people think that I am, because I feel so much like who I already am. Do you ever go through this?
Yeah, I think that was a part of the whole...
It's a fame thing,
yeah,
or something.
Well, kind of, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a part of the whole perception that people have for you, that either through the commercials or the projected image that the corporations have projected of Michael Jordan. But to me, I've always been just a down-to-earth guy who you can talk to on the street and smile and enjoy kids, love being around people, has his good days, his bad days, just like any normal person.
You describe a perfect day in rare air. What would that be for you? You should be having them now, really.
Perfect day. I get up when I want to, have breakfast with the kids, take them to school if I have the time, or, whenever they choose to go to school, or, whatever.
Juanita said, what?
Hey.
Yeah.
And then go play golf, go to a movie, go to dinner.
Oh, yeah, that's another rumor. Do you want to be a professional golfer and make money doing that?
No, I mean, everyone has to set goals when they're trying to improve. I set that goal as a matter of working towards an improvement stage. That's all. If I ever get good enough, I may try.
I heard this the other day, too. You want to be a baseball player, professional.
No.
That's not true either. Okay. Well, there's one thing in life that both Michael and I are deathly afraid of. We'll tell you what that is when we come back. I couldn't believe you're afraid of this, too. But first, these memorable Michael moments. Take a look.
Like Mike. I want to be like him. We play golf every day. If Chuck Daly plays me over 10 minutes, I'm quitting.
They believe they have changed. He is no longer gay.
Can gays become straight?
I choose to no longer be gay.
On the next Donahue, meet people who say there's a choice and how they made it.
If you're heterosexual, you're heterosexual. If you're homosexual, you're homosexual. Why change?
Hear the findings of a controversial new study.
She helped me more than she's saying.
Once gay, always gay?
He's fooling himself, what?
Is it your choice to be gay? On the next Donahue.
Today at 5, here on WBRE-TV.
When you want a good deal on great food, head to Arthur Treacher's, where any meal, any time is only $3.99.
No gimmicks, Just any meal, $3.99. A dinner with 3 pieces of batter-dipped fish, or Arthur Treacher's rotisserie roasted chicken dinners, or shrimp, or batter-dipped chicken, or delicious broiled fish.
Every dinner, even Treacher's big combo meal, only $3.99.
You get everything in the free potato topping bar.
Any meal.
Anytime, $3.99 at Arthur Treacher's.
Mayor Jim Connors has not raised your taxes 1 penny in 4 years. In the 10 years his opponent has been county administrator, your county taxes have been raised over 95%, nearly double. Since 1990 alone, they have increased over 30%. Mayor Jim Connors fought the garbage fee, the sewer rate, and PG&W water rate increases. Mayor Jim Connors has never raised your taxes.
And I want to keep your taxes down.
On Tuesday, November 2nd, re-elect our mayor, Jim Connors.
Hello, Spectrum Genie speaking. A living room group? And what kind do you wish? Try this one. Something bigger? A sectional maybe? With a coffee table maybe? Come on, what's a genie supposed to be, a mind reader?
Design any living room you wish. Call Spectrum Rents and ask about our movables by England Corsair.
Put a little Spectrum in your home.
Hi, Mike. How's things in the slow lane? I hope that you're enjoying your retirement. I hope that you're finally getting the proper rest that you need. Probably the only thing that I have to say to you is thanks for all of the memories, all the good times, and I know that we'll still get together every New Year's to celebrate.
You are not retiring. When people retire, they're usually 65 years old, they get a gold watch, and they don't work anymore. What you're doing as an ex-athlete, and I've done that too, you're having a change of life. All of us ex-athletes go through it. It's not really retiring. Change of life. You're not having a change.
No, I'm not having it.
Well, anyway, as I was saying, but now, see, while you were playing, you were excluded from doing all kinds of little things, like going to the store to get something because you had a game that night. You are now available to do all those things, including taking the garbage out.
And spending time with friends. That's us. That's where we come in. Because I heard you say so yourself. Now you have more time to spend with family and friends. So that means that you can come to dinner next Thursday night at 8 o'clock.
Indian food.
Indian food.
I heard you hate Indian food. Is that true?
I haven't acquired a taste for it yet.
Yeah, that's very diplomatic. You have a phobia that I have. You talk about it, I think, on page 58. And it's easy to have this phobia because what happened to me when I was a kid, I almost drowned in a pool.
Yeah.
And somebody had to pull me out.
Water.
And water.
I'm not really, I'm not in love with water. I'm not a water sports or water person.
But yeah, you got
I got to take the shower. I got to do all that stuff.
Let me ask you, are you a shower guy or a bathing guy?
Both.
Really?
Depends on how tired I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I take baths with the kids all the time. I love it.
Yeah, there's a great photo of you with the kids. So the reason you have this water phobia is what?
I almost drowned when I was 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I was celebrating. We just won the Little League Championship, and I knew I couldn't swim, but I didn't want to be left out with the guys. So I hopped in the water. I had this big old balloon, plastic balloon. I'm floating on it. You know, I didn't want to get in the water. And one of the guys did a cannonball jump, and the water just splattered the ball off of me, and I was down. I went down twice, and the third time, one of my friends pulled my arm up and put me on the side of the pool. And from then on, I don't mess around in the pool. And yeah, I had a couple of my friends who drowned, and
one drowned when you were there, right?
Yeah.
Had tried to pull you in under the undertow.
Yeah, they gave me the death lock, and I had a tough time trying to, either save him or save myself. And right now, it was better to save myself at that particular time.
Do you have a pool at your house?
Right now? No.
No. You're going to let your kids swim, though, right?
Oh, yeah. They're taking swimming lessons now. And they enjoy it.
Yeah. So any 4-year-old out there who knows how to swim can do something you can't do.
Not far.
Okay. Before every game, there were 2 things that Michael Jordan would never change. Next is private superstitions. We'll talk about those. Back in a moment.
You're watching Oprah on WBRE-TV, the news channel.
Being a police officer isn't easy. We confront some pretty serious situations, but when it involves a child, it's even more difficult. A hurt or frightened child can be comforted by the gift of a cuddly teddy bear. That's why WBRE-TV, Penn Millers Insurance, and the Visiting Nurse Association are sponsoring the Teddy Bear Patrol. The police agencies involved here in our area hope you'll support the Teddy Bear Patrol. Show you care by making a donation and help us put a comforting teddy bear like this into the arms of a child.
Factory Authorized Center, nationally advertised posture series mattress sets. Now from $19 each piece. Choose from truckloads of models and support levels at half the cost of department stores. Brand new living rooms and bedrooms from only $188 at Nationwide Warehouse. Route 11 in rear of CK Auto Moosic, also in Allentown. Phone 457-1957, Nationwide Warehouse.
Sure, these guys are gorgeous.
These are the most eligible bachelors in the free world.
They've even been featured on the pages of Cosmopolitan.
He was great.
Now they're lining up to win a date with someone you know. It's John and Lisa's Have We Got a Guy for You contest. Get all the details. Plus, Mary Lou Henner.
Do you think your baby's going to be as nuts as you are?
Oh, I hope so. Her secret for a perfect pregnancy on the next John and Lisa.
Monday morning at 10 on WBRE-TV.
What goes with Reuniti? Candlelight and stars in the night. A sail on the ocean, bodies in motion. Anything goes with Reuniti.
Reuniti on ice, that's nice. The light, lively taste of Reuniti goes with anything. What goes with Reuniti?
Anything goes with Reuniti.
Hello, Michael. Charlie Sheen here at Camden Yards doing Major League 2. Just wanted to take a moment here to thank you for a decade of most impressive highlights and unparalleled moments on the basketball court.
Mr. Jordan. Tim Allen here. Can I call you Mike? Don't even ask about this. I just wanted you to know that I'm real happy for all you've done for America and kids and basketball and for everything else you've done. I'm darn proud of you, I really am. But being a Detroit Pistons fan, this comes as a very hard thing to say. You're a terrific ball player. But I think on a good day I could beat you at horse.
I just want to thank you for the time we got to spend together gambling, golfing, and I really enjoyed that too. And come back to us, Michael. We need you. America needs you.
Oh, great. Ready? Oh, we love all the rituals. You say every single day of my life since I left college, two things never changed. My pre-game meal and my Carolina blue shorts. I wear my Carolina shorts every game, every day, every single day of my life since I left college. I just feel comfortable with them on. That's where it all started for me. As long as I have these shorts on, and I have them on whether I'm playing a game or wearing a suit, I feel confident. You wearing them today?
Yep.
Now, this is when I read this. I wonder, do you have a lot of pair or you wash these out every night?
No, I have a lot.
You have a lot of
I
pair.
get a supply every year.
Really?
Yeah, they're really kind to me.
I am so happy to know that. That's good. We'll be back. We'll be back. Back with more Michael in a moment. Good.
Unforgettable in every way.
And forevermore.
And forevermore.
That's how you stay.
That's how you'll stay.
Wake up to a new day and wake up to Eyewitness News Sunrise. Make it a fresh start with Eyewitness News' Diana Penna, Mark Hiller, and Chris Capra each weekday morning at 6:30. The important news you need, the day's exclusive AccuWeather forecast, the business outlook, sports, and more, all to help you get ready for another day. Something fresh, something different. Eyewitness News Sunrise, the right way to wake up to a new day. Weekday mornings at 6:30 on the news channel, WBRE-TV.
Barbara was radiant on the day of her wedding. 2 months later,
Her husband shot her.
Oh, you can't call me. I'm having trouble breathing. Okay, I can take a deep breath.
About 3 hours later, Barbara died.
They said she's dead, and I think I shook constantly for 15 minutes.
Can her parents ever recover from this tragedy? Next Sally.
Join me Monday at 3 on WVRE TV.
A legend kidnapped.
Sandy Claus. Haven't you heard of goodwill towards men?
A holiday held hostage.
An imposter is shamelessly impersonating Santa Claus.
Now only Jack Skellington can set things right.
Won't they be surprised?
From the genius of Tim Burton comes the story of a hero with a style all his own.
I am the Pumpkin King.
Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, rated PG. Now playing at a theater near you.
With the campaigns drawing to a close, the politicians have had their say.
Now it's time for you to have yours with your vote.
Then turn to WVRE-TV, the news channel, to find out who wins. I'm Keith Martin.
And I'm Dawn Timoney. Join the Eyewitness News team Tuesday for continuous election coverage starting at 8 o'clock.
With live coverage of key area races and up-to-the-minute results.
And analysis of what those results mean to you.
So vote, then watch your vote count on WVRE-TV, the news channel.
Rare air is that how remarkable it is to live your life and have no regrets. Do you have any?
None. I'm very happy with what's happened to me. I mean, good and bad. I mean, because it's made me the person that I am, maturity-wise, as well as anything else that's happened to me.
Do you feel stronger after all
Very
this?
strong. Very strong. I think you have to be strong to go through the adversity as well as some of the good things. And
But you're not really out of the limelight. I mean, when you walk down the street, people are still just freaking out. I know.
I know that, but I mean, I do get the chance to do whatever I want, and I will get out of the limelight just a little bit.
A little bit.
When they get tired of seeing my face around.
Michael's book is called Rare Air. It's a great Christmas gift, and these Michael Jordan sports videos, which incidentally are the 3 best-selling of all time, are also available. I have to tell you, when I watched your retirement speech, all I could think was I wanted to be like Mike, and it is just a privilege to be able to talk to you, Michael Jordan. Thank you. You're a class act. Just a class act. As the song says, here's one more for the road.
Quarter to 3. There's no one in the place except you and me. Here's Jordan down the middle all the way. We're drinking, my friend. Can you believe that? To the beat of us. Look at his crowd up on their feet. The tongue is out. Something bad about to happen to the Lakers. It's Michael Jordan. And one more. At the buzzer, Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago.
Listen to the crowd here now. Just screaming. Now watch him drive to the hoop. The hang time. These people are on their feet. Michael Jordan gives the Bulls a 2-point lead. For the 3rd year, Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls have climbed the Mount Olympus of the NBA to the world champions of basketball.
And one
at some point in time, everyone has to make a decision to move forward away from games. I just want to be remembered as a guy who enjoyed the game and played it at 110% every time he stepped on the court.
Greatest athlete alive today. The greatest athlete alive.
Michael Jordan! You're great. Classy, classy, classy. Classy, 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 guys. Yes.
Under 30 and divorced 1 million times on the next Ricky Lake.
Just because you're gay doesn't mean you're gay. Colin and Sharon Cook, you've been married for 15 years. Colin, your wife is to discover after she's married to you that you were seeing men in an
Colin, not Colin Powell, but anyway, go ahead.
Colin, sorry. You are honest to tell us you had numerous homosexual affairs while you were married.
Affairs, not affairs, but yes, definite sins and wrongs and mistakes. And
yeah. And now you're out of that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you're never going back.
I'm not going back. There's been too much pain, too much trouble, too much sorrow.
And too much growth, hopefully.
Too much what?
Much growth.
Too much growth.
But there are people out there who want to say, why are you so ashamed of gayness? Gayness is not a sin. Gayness is not an evil. Gayness just is, like gray hair and blue eyes.
If my brain is not in harmony with
New worlds from the world of arts, the world of science, the contemporary, the worlds of wit and wisdom. There you can see the joy of learning. The joy of the Learning Channel has created another thinking human being.
Call your cable company and say, hey, I want to see that for myself.
We now return to Wildlife Chronicles on the Discovery Channel.
Dr. Friedemann Köster has been studying and filming Arnis in South America for many years, determined to unravel the complex threads which bind Arni society together. He finally managed to break the Arni code of behavior using an ingenious system. Köster was concerned that the Arnis would desert the nest if he had to catch the birds to band them. So he constructed a remote control system which allowed him to drip non-toxic paint onto each unsuspecting bird on the nest, while he sat in the security of his hide. As soon as the clutch is complete, incubation begins in earnest. Now that it's possible to distinguish individuals, a pattern gradually begins to emerge. There are 2 pairs of Arnis at this nest. Each bird seems to incubate all the eggs for an average of between 2 and 3 hours during the day. The dominant male incubates throughout the night as well. Once a bird is sitting on the eggs, it's reluctant to relinquish the job to another. But the new arrival is equally keen to take over. It's now that the significance of the leaves becomes apparent. Each bird still arrives at the nest with a green leaf in its beak. The sitting bird tries to snatch the leaf from the newcomer, who tries equally hard to hold on to it. Whoever ends up holding the leaf is allowed to incubate. The leaf is a ticket to sit. The leaf rule is only broken when a male arrives at the nest with an offering of food for his mate. The Arnis feeding nearby seem to know when the nest is occupied and when another bird is due to take over. It's very rare for 2 birds to arrive at the nest at the same time. The birds which are most successful at grabbing the leaves also seem to be preened more often by other members of the flock. This activity not only removes bird lice, preening also helps to reduce aggression between group members. Arnis spend a great deal of time sunbathing on a vantage point where they can keep an eye open for predators. They chill easily, especially if they get wet. Sunbathing plays an important part in maintaining their body temperature. Apart from preening and sunbathing, Arnies need to eat. They spend a lot of time searching for insects in the tall grass. But again, even these feeding habits are unusual. Arnies have learned that by keeping close in front of a herd of grazing cattle or horses, they can benefit from all the insects, small frogs and lizards which the cattle stir up as they move through the tall grass. They can actually double their catch by staying close to the herd. Foraging alongside cattle becomes most important during the dry season, when insects are scarce. Arnies breed late in the season, but there's a good reason for this. After the dry period, the returning rains stimulate the growth of fresh grass. Newly hatched grasshoppers, leaf bugs, and other insects emerge to feed, and the Arnies take advantage of their abundance. Feeding becomes even more intense once the eggs have begun to hatch. Arnie eggs develop extremely quickly. The first chicks begin to hatch after only 16 days incubation. Most other birds need to incubate their eggs for considerably longer. All the chicks hatch within a few days of each other. Now the feeding rota becomes non-stop. Almost as soon as one bird leaves to find more food for the chicks, another one appears. Though they're still blind, the chicks are able to swallow large insects within a few hours. Each pair of adults seem to be unable to distinguish their own chicks from the rest of the clutch. Usually, each bird just pauses long enough to pop an enormous grasshopper into whichever gaping mouth is nearest, and then leaves the nest. There are no favorites.
Wildlife Chronicles will continue on the Discovery Channel.
The fresher the vegetable, the fresher the salad. And now there's a fat-free dressing that tastes just as fresh. New Good Seasons for fat-free dressing. The fat-free you make fresh with no oil. Because the best fat-free is the fresh fat-free.
Honey, I wonder if you could tell me where this is.
Oh, dancing and music. It's definitely a party town.
Is it Rio?
Oh, yes, Brazil.
No! No. Look, this is a place for excitement, adventure.
Yes, nature, wilderness.
Is there a jungle?
Yes.
We'll take the kids.
Africa.
Africa.
Yes.
Well, okay, well, we know for sure it's the Mediterranean.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, No.
This year, discover the new old world. Puerto Rico.
We'll be there.
Just when I need someone to love me, just when I think the world's too cold, there you are, right there beside me. There you are in my heart, standing by me once again. There
Sheba, because you cherish your cat.
Hello, I'm Gil Eastman.
I'm Mary Lou Novitsky, and this is Deaf Mosaic.
Explore the world of deaf people Saturday on the Discovery Channel.
Homeowners, if you're tired of yard waste cleanup chores and the disposal problems caused by closing landfills, get ready to take down this important toll-free number for exciting news on a revolutionary yard cleanup machine, the new Troy-built Chipper Vac. All free in this exciting home video and catalog. You'll discover how the breakthrough Troy-built Chipper Vac recycles all your yard debris as you walk, ending yard waste disposal problems forever. The powerful yard vac handles leaves and twigs easily, while this auto-feeding chipper takes care of branches and limbs up to 3.5 inches thick right on the spot. Plus, the Troy-built chipper vac reduces and bags your yard debris automatically, giving you mountains of free landscape mulch and compost. So to get all the important news on the revolutionary Troy-built chipper vac, call toll-free today. For complete details on the revolutionary Troy-built chipper vac, including your free video and full-color catalog, call toll-free 1-800-767-8100. That's 1-800-767-8100. Call today.
We now return to Wildlife Chronicles on the Discovery Channel.
The Arnies are one of the few South American birds to have benefited from the introduction of cattle and horses and the cutting of forest for pasture land and crops. Arnies are unable to find food in dense forest, so the increase in man-made grassland has opened up a far larger area of the country to them, resulting in a sudden and dramatic increase in numbers. South American Indians say that before the introduction of cattle, Arnies used to follow wild deer in the same way. Often the movements of a large herd will trample an Arnie nest hidden in tall grass. Forests are just about the only places where Arnies don't live. They're found in wet pasture land, plantations, thorn scrub, even 6,000 feet up on high Andean farmland. At our nest, only 4 chicks have hatched out of the 9 eggs laid. They're now almost 5 days old. The first feathers are beginning to come through, and their eyes are open. The feeding rota is still in force, with one adult arriving at the nest with food every few minutes or so. The search for insects becomes even more intense now that the chicks' appetites are growing. Instead of each pair defending a separate territory, the entire flock bands together and defends one large feeding and nesting area against other flocks of Arnies. Arnies are not the only birds to exploit cattle or horses to find food. African cattle egrets reached South America via Guyana in the 1930s. They were immediately at home among the vast herds of cattle. When they arrive in large flocks, the egrets often displace the native Arnies from the pastures and dominate the herds. Unlike Arnies, cattle egrets not only catch insects stirred up by the moving herds, but also feed by pecking the ticks from the skin of cattle or other large grazing mammals. It once used to be thought that Arnies fed in the same way, which is why the Spanish name for Arnie means tick eater. Arnies and egrets are only found feeding together when the egrets are in the minority. At 10 days of age, the chicks are already scrambling about the nest on large, ungainly feet, and the entire flock of adults still continues to feed them. The whole system seems to operate like a commune. It's still not clear why such a strange social system should have evolved. All 4 of the chicks which hatched have survived. This means that, on average, each pair has managed to raise 2 chicks. But of course, there's no guarantee that things have worked out quite so evenly. It's thought that the main advantage of the Arnie creche system is that each bird only has to devote a small amount of time to incubation and rearing of the young. The rest of the time can be spent searching for food, sunbathing, and preening. This could be one reason why the Arnis have been able to colonize such vast stretches of country, where insects are thin on the ground. They can afford to spend plenty of time searching for them. Many old Arnie nests from past breeding seasons tell the same story. 2 or 3 eggs were probably infertile, and other eggs became lost and chilled as they were hidden beneath the growing pile of leaves brought in by the adults. Each member of the group seems to benefit from this system in the long run. Even if bad luck does strike the nest, or one bird's offspring fails to survive, the chances are that next season it will succeed. By the time the chicks are a few months old, they have the same violet-black plumage as the adults, and it's increasingly difficult to tell which is which. The young birds often gather in sunny clearings where insects are plentiful, but they will continue to be fed by the adults for some time. At night, they all roost together on the same perch, huddling shoulder to shoulder to keep warm in exactly the same way as the adults. But it will be 2 or 3 breeding seasons before they're entitled to compete for green leaves of their own. We are perhaps not so far removed ourselves from the Arnis in our complex society, where symbols such as the old school tie or credit card have become tickets of privilege, not dissimilar to the green leaf code.
All this week at 7 Eastern, Discovery Presents explores the fascinating lives of the creatures of the North. From wolves to walruses, it's a journey you won't soon forget on Canadian Wildlife Week.
American Medical Television, Sunday mornings at 10 Eastern on the Discovery Channel.
Sponsored in part by Super Polygrip.
I'm Dr. Donna Willis for Discovery Now. A new study says premature babies stand a better chance of surviving if treated immediately after birth with surfactant, a substance that helps the lungs stretch. Little Katie Sorber weighed just 20 ounces when she was born 3 months premature. Immediately after birth, doctors treated her lungs with surfactant, a natural substance that coats lungs' air sacs. Surfactant reduces tension, like stretching a balloon before it's blown up. Treating Katie before her lungs failed may have saved her life.
Before surfactant was available, the respiratory distress syndrome was the major cause of death in these premature babies.
Doctors know surfactant works. They've used it for years, but this study shows treating babies early is better. Researchers are encouraged at the study's results and hope surfactant will give more babies like Katie a chance. I'm Dr. Donna Willis for Discovery Now.
Smelly, rotten mildew stains? Try X14. It's better. Compare 3 sprays of Tilex to just 1 spray of X14. In minutes, the X14 side is cleaner. X14 mildew stain remover and X14 soap scum remover.
Look at me eating peanut brittle. Even with my dentures, thanks to Super Polygrip.
Super Polygrip holds so tight, many denture wearers can enjoy more of their favorite foods.
Even peanut brittle.
Super Polygrip.
This portion of Discovery is sponsored in part by the Cracker Barrel Old Country Store.
Another medical emergency. Where once death would have been a virtual certainty, quick medical intervention and the latest technological refinements save yet another life. For medicine, death is the latest frontier to conquer. And the achievements of medical technology have been extraordinary. Miracles of lives restored, extended, and reshaped. But every advance has raised major new questions, profound ethical questions, which society as a whole must address. Just because medicine is able in some cases to defer the point of death almost indefinitely, does that mean it's desirable to do so? Where does a human life from a qualitative standpoint end? When does it become morally legitimate to pull the plug, or even to actively assist a patient towards an easy death? In Canada, we've barely begun to address these issues openly, yet they arise every day for the doctors and nurses in our hospitals. At one time, the boundary between life and death was crystal clear, but no longer. Medical technology has made it possible to prolong the day of reckoning for weeks, months, even years, to keep some terminally ill patients going, often in a state of indignity and pain, or to keep them alive indefinitely on a respirator. A natural death is no longer our prerogative. More and more, a conscious decision is required to determine the point at which life ends. And some feel the decision should be the patient's, while he or she is still competent to make a choice.
Dying is the one thing of which we can be completely certain. We should take the subject and look at it objectively and make our decisions, and then have the comfort of knowing that they're going to be respected.
In a population with an extended lifespan and a rapidly increasing segment of elderly, the quality of one's last days is of growing concern. People are anxious that without their consent, their bodies could be functioning long after their personal existence has ceased. Every year, some 300,000 North Americans spend their final months in just such a condition. Toronto Sun columnist Lois Maxwell has written about the use of heroic medical measures to keep the terminally ill alive. Her columns have drawn tremendous public response, with many letters relating the lingering deaths of loved ones in hospitals, experiences similar to Maxwell's own.
The young daughter, well, the 31-year-old daughter of great friends of mine, was in a terrible explosion. And over 75% of her body was burned. She had 1 square foot of skin left on her entire body. She was taken to the burns unit in Wellesley Hospital, where everybody, 5, 6 doctors, nurses, machines, everything, they just did everything they could to keep her alive. But she was in a coma, and at that point, my friend, the mother, said, let her go, let her go. You've told us that she has a strong heart and strong lungs. Give it to another young person. I don't want my daughter. She's not waking up anyway.